Hi everybody, it's Amy and you who found Amy Loves Crochet. I just want to thank everybody for clicking on my video today. If you're a subscriber, I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet subscribed and you like what you see in today's video, please click down below so that you don't miss any more videos that I put out. The first thing I wanted to talk about today is a blanket that I'm working on that is a granny square blanket, or squares, a blanket made up of squares. These are good projects to have when you're going to be working on other big things that maybe don't get completed right away. This way you can knock one out, knock two out, feel like you're getting somewhere with your squares. It's always a long-term project for me when I've got a squares project going on. And this is one that I've done before. I absolutely love this pattern. It's called the Willow square. I made this in a blanket a long time ago with four colors, green and cream, and anyway, I recently donated that to my church for a trivia night, for a raffle, and I just enjoyed that blanket so much that it made me want to make another one since I saw it and I was touching it and taking it out of my tote to give to the church and stuff. So I wanted to make another one, and I tell you guys all the time, over here I've got just yarn that's coming out my wazoo over here. I've just got so much of it. There's a better shot. All of this is just yarn, and I took out enough to make 56 of these blanket squares. I think they're about 9-inch squares, and so the yarn that I've pulled out that is set up to make these squares, again, is for 56 squares, and I barely dented the amount of yarn that I've got in that cubby there. So let me go ahead and show you the colors because I just love them so much. There's the grouping. This one is called Pumpkin, and the yellow one is called Golden. I also had one over here called Golden Rod that was just a little bit different, so I had to make sure I wasn't going to mix those up. And then the burgundy one, this one's burgundy, and Aran, a cream color, and then this one's called Denim. So I thought that was a really nice looking set when I saw them at the Dollar Tree, and I had to drive around and grab up a bunch more so that I knew I had enough to make a blanket, and I just kind of went overboard a little bit. So this is a really great pattern. You start with a magic ring or a chain 4 or 5 and then draw to a circle. You've got 16 double crochets here in the center, and then you do a chain 4, which is going to be like a double crochet, chain 1, and then in every stitch you do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, get those spokes, and then in the next row up you do a double crochet on each double crochet, and then you do 2 double crochets in the space there, and then you do a chain row so that you've got some place to put this row, which is you do 5 double crochets and then 3 chains and then 5 double crochets, and it makes that corner. And then across the flats here you do 7 doubles. There's a single crochet in between each side, and then you do another chain row so that you've got some place to put this row, and you do, the corners are 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, and then you do 5 double crochets in this space, and then you do 3, 3, 5, and then another corner. And on this time around I did an optional round of a single crochet border so that when I connect them, that's just one more row of color of the square itself. I think on the last one I didn't do that single crochet. Look, the sun coming through. But yeah, so this is called the Willow stitch, and it's one of my most favorite. So you saw from the intro, the thumbnail, this is how many I've got going so far. I think I'm about halfway through, but I've got all the, like I said, all the yarn is pulled to the side. So when I finish one, I just put another skein in my basket here, and that's what these great baskets are for, is that they can put, you can hold all your goodies. And then when I'm done with the ball, I get 2 squares out of each skein. So when I've got a little bit left at the end, I just put them all together. I'm probably gonna have enough for a whole square of each color when I'm done with that. So I look forward to seeing how this is growing. Like I said, when I've got a square project, it's always kind of a long-term thing because you just do 1 a day or maybe 2 a day, that kind of thing. I never sit down and work on this for any length of time. Excuse me. So then the next thing that I wanted to show you is I've had this for a little bit now. This is the Big Twist Freelance, and it really is a beautiful skein of yarn. But what I was finding when I was working it is that the green, the maroon, and the purple are much thicker yarns than this orange and white variegated, and then this little bit of white that's here. The yarn got really, really thin. I'm not focusing very well. And this was much thicker. Maybe it's not showing too well right here, but I wanted to start a blanket with that to see how it worked up, because I've got 10 skeins of these, and they're each, they always put it someplace different. These are 206 yards, so you get quite a bit for a nice little skein. I think I got these for $2.99 on sale. And so I just wanted to see how it worked up and making a blanket out of it. I did a C2C, corner to corner, and I wasn't loving it, so I just stopped to make a bag instead. So I just made two panels and 2 squares and put them together. Tried to do some color controlling to keep the color flowing, because as you can see, the green isn't represented by very much at all. That's all it was. And then here I started a new skein, so I would have fresh color combos. And again, that green is just a tiny little bit, and the white is just a tiny bit. I think I had to tie on a different one here or something. So I wasn't really in love with the way the color play is working out here. It's okay. I don't know what I was expecting to see all these different color combinations together in one skein, but it's okay. It's not killing me. But like usual, it's a bag that I've made that I haven't lined yet, and I do plan on lining it. When we moved here to St. Louis area about 16, 17 years ago, I bought a sewing machine, and I made some curtains and a little pillow and some things for my mom, and then I just put it away, and I've really never taken it out again since then. I have intentions to, but that's not happening quite yet. So I think any liners that I make, I'm going to have to do by hand, and that's okay. We'll get there. But this is some of the yarn, or some of the material that I had purchased way back when I bought a bunch of remnants and thought I'd figure something out or just play with them and to figure out my sewing machine, because that's not something that comes natural to me. So this kind of purpley maroony and this orange color I thought would go great together to be the liner for the bag. It would make it kind of fun. It would make that orange color pop out a bit. The purple was kind of between, I mean, the linen was there between the purple and the magenta a little bit. So that'll be fun. I've got a whole project bag full of bags that need to be lined, ends that need to be woven in, hidden in, and so forth. So that'll be like a whole, I'll have to just sit down and work on that bag altogether, because it's just growing. It's not going down any. I just keep making more that I have to finish later. So we'll work on that. Okay. And this last one, I love, 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 because I told you guys that I was going to share all my fails with you, as well as everything that was fabulous. And I thought this was going to be a fail for sure, but it kind of worked out. I'm not hating it at all. So the reason that I bought this yarn was because my granddaughter has a blanket that is gorgeous. And when I saw this yarn online, I thought that this was it, but it's not quite. I think that hers is made out of a mandala cake. Somebody else made it for us. I don't know. But this is Sweet Roll Frosty, and this is the one that I ended up buying. I thought that this was it. I love Sweet Roll, so it was not even sad to me to pick up 10 rolls of this. But it's got this beautiful blue, and then yellow and pink and purple. And all of the skeins are wound a bit differently, so each one maybe starts with a different color. See, those purple was hiding in there. We didn't even see it. But yeah, I mean, it's again, it's that awesome, you know, sturdy string of yarn that I just love, as opposed to seeing the 4 plies. So anyway, so what I thought I was doing, I thought I was making a stitch called the moss stitch, or the linen stitch maybe, where you do a chain 1, skip 1, or you do a single crochet and then chain 1, skip 1, single crochet. So then when you come back around, you go into the space that you skipped. But in this case, what I did was I went down right into the stitch in the one that was below it. So there's no play. There's no pull on this. You can't separate those stitches. You can't see the pillow, which is what I wanted. But when I started the pillow, you know, I was just winging it. So I just took my chains and I went across the pillow, and I thought it would be enough width. But then when I started to crochet down into the stitches, it pulled all tight together. So it was super skinny and super long and not wide enough at all. So I put it down for a bit, and I was discouraged, and I didn't want to work on it because I didn't know how I was going to fix it. And I had just done this whole big panel that took me a long time, and I didn't know what to do. So I went ahead and did the moss stitch as you're supposed to, which is, here's your single, and then you chain one, skip one, and then your single. And when you come back around, you go into that space. So there's a hole there. You can see the pillow. You can, you know, like I said, put your finger in there. This side, there's no space. There is absolutely no play in that whatsoever. So the two sides do look a bit different because this one's kind of spaced out a little bit more. And so when I put them together, I knew there was going to have to be a panel. This is extra. This, where this seam was supposed to be way over here, and it just wasn't happening. It just pulled way too tight, and I didn't want that distorted, you know, look, that pulling look. So I did just, you know, put it in and start to put the sides together and just kind of winged it. Do you wing it? You winged it? It was wung. So this was going to be a fail. It was going to be fabulous when I began, but then it started to be a fail, and I was able to save it, and I think it's still somewhat fabulous. It's the pillow that I intended to make, you know, for the most part, and I enjoy it. So this, like I said, this was Sweet Roll Frosty, and I've got a whole bunch more of them. So I don't know what my next project will be with them, but this was not, this was good because I really wanted to make a pillow. I had been at, I was at Hobby Lobby. I keep saying that. I was at Joann's, and they were having a pillow sale that was like a buy one, get one half or something to that extent. And so I bought 2 of those so that I could figure something out. So I'm really, really glad that I stepped outside my comfort zone and I made something that I would not have normally made. This is a pillow that I've had for a long time. I don't know if I bought it a long, long time ago when I first started to sew, and I thought I would make a cover for it. It's kind of a round, just behind your neck kind of pillow or whatever. Maybe it's a side for the couch pillow. Maybe it's a whack your brother with it pillow. I don't know. But 14 inches by 5 inches. So, and these are 16 by 16 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 16 by 16. So I was pleased with the price point on those. Buy one, get one. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's been sitting in there forever. I'll figure something out. And then I wanted to share with you. I was getting the bottom of my shelf here organized, and I've got a bag of Polyfill, and I was trying to stuff it down so that it would fit under this ledge, and I got stabbed. I didn't know this. I'm kind of new to the Polyfill world, I suppose. And inside the stuffing, inside the bag, is this like chopstick thing that's a Polyfill stuffer tool, so that like when you're making that origami, whatever, you can poke, you know, stuff the Polyfill in with that guy. But I stuffed, you know, the Polyfill down so it would fit, and I got stabbed. This was down in the center of the Polyfill, hiding inside. So if you're new to Polyfill like I was, watch out for the chopstick thingy that's going to stab your hand if you shove it down in the center. Okay, so that's all that I had to show you for today's video. I'm super excited that I stepped outside my comfort zone. I'm super with a pillow. I'm super excited that I created another project that's going to need another step. So I keep pushing myself to get this liners figured out, and I'm going to. I promise. You'll see it one day. And this will be my ongoing project for a little bit. I get 1 or 2 knocked out each day, and I can't wait to share the finished project with you. So thank you so much for stopping in and saying hello with me today. If you liked anything that I had to share, please give me a subscribe down below so that you won't miss any of my other videos that I put out. I try to change up the content. I do a what's hanging. I do a what's in that tote. you know, that kind of thing. I try to change it up with yarn orders and so forth. So thank you so much for stopping today. I really appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. God bless. Bye-bye.